I took out my baking pan, and then I pulled out the foil, right? And I lined it because I was like, it gets all grody, but then that foil just gets thrown away. It's a one-time use. Instead, Technique is bringing us, first of all, a fantastic aluminum sheet pan.
That's right.
Then, these 4 silicone inserts where I don't have to worry about foil because I'm going to cook directly in silicone. These then go into the dishwasher and I reuse them time and time again. It's a really smart set for under $30, and there's 3 color choices to choose from. So this is your beautiful steel gray option. We do also have that crimson red. I love that. That actually matches really well with the red green pan multi-cooker that we just had.
That's right.
Very similar
That's actually
color.
a great match.
And then we do also have the midnight blue. So any of those available, and don't forget, you're seeing that sheet pan back there because you do get a really great aluminum sheet pan as well. So thank you.
Candles in the way.
Let's dive in.
So
smart.
Yeah, so this is what we call sheet pan dinners, right? The genius of this is you have food grade silicone. Silicone is one of my favorite materials in the kitchen. And we created these inserts with a couple design elements in mind. First of all, it's a thicker gauge silicone. So what does that mean? That means you could put substantial amounts of food in here. So it's not going to be so wobbly that you can't lift it out. But then, unlike some of the other sheet pan offers you see out there, we put an extra lip here. So that has now a handle. So when I go to take this off the sheet pan, I'm not putting my hands into the food that's in the actual silicone. Then they're naturally non-stick. Silicone's naturally non-stick. So what does that mean? Food, like up here, I have some hot, cheesy, molten hot chicken Parmesan, but I want you to see something. All I'm going to do is watch this. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. It just literally glides out, and then this right here goes right in the dishwasher. It cleans up like a dream. So like your point, you're not using foil. And then think about the sheet pan. Think about how many times you roast something on your sheet pan, right? And then it burns on it and it's impossible to clean. This keeps anything from sticking or burning. And then when you're not using the inserts, a gorgeous 12 by 17 cookie sheet. This is the true half sheet pan, that extra, so you can do that nice dozen big large cookies. So you have a baking sheet, and let's face it, how many of us have these baking sheets that are just destroyed? So now you have a brand new baking sheet and it's going to stay nice and new. And that means you can also cook things at different times. So I'm going to go to the oven here. Because this is one of my favorite things. You start, say, your chicken wings. You put those inserts in first. Then, as the chicken wings are cooking, in the smaller inserts, what I did here is I put in my sauces and dips. So I have a jalapeno cheese sauce, and I have a spinach artichoke dip. So imagine now, I did an entire platter of things, all on one pan, but because I have the inserts, I'm able to separate everything. So I have different flavors going on. They're not commingling, and they're not making, ooh, these are hot, and they're not making my pan destroyed and stained. It's just a really smart system.
These are also beautiful enough that I could take these directly to the table and serve out of the silicone. I don't even have to worry about dirtying another dish.
No, you don't. And by the way, silicone, microwave safe, refrigerator safe, freezer safe. So maybe the night before you put the different things in here, wrap them up, put them in the refrigerator or the freezer, and then you just take them out and put them in the oven. In fact,
meal prep.
These smaller ones, which I love,
which are 6 by 6. So the square 6 by 6, and then the rectangle are 12 by 5 1/4. So you're going to fit all 4 of them together in one sheet pan.
So check this out. Sometimes I want to make a frittata, or I want to heat up some food. To your point, now I go to my microwave. I put my eggs, my peppers, my cheese. Look at this. I did a whole frittata. Now this
was made in the microwave.
Made in the microwave. So I just whipped my eggs. I added my vegetables, my cheese. Here, let me hold this over here so they can see. And once again, I'm going to try not to make a mess here. Watch this. Watch what happens. This just pops right out. That you can pop in the dishwasher. Cleans up like a dream. But you just made a frittata. And this is a thick frittata, so that's probably going to feed 2 or 3 people right there.
Absolutely, I would say so.
And so you can use this in so many ways. And it's, it turns a sheet pan. I always like to say multifunctional. Something you can bake on, but then these inserts turn it into this multi-meal cooking system that you have.
That's amazing. Now, if I'm going to be using just the sheet pan itself for some cookies, should I put some butter or some oil on that pan?
Traditional cookies, they're very heavy in butter in the ingredients. Like a chocolate chip cookie, I never grease the pan. But if you're doing a specific type of thing, like maybe that might stick, I would. But I wouldn't. To me, I use this for baking. And then, here's the other thing. If you wanted to make, and I don't have an example here, but if you wanted to make multiple brownies and cake designs, you could take one cake batter, right, split it up into the things and make maybe a chocolate, maybe you want to put strawberries in one, so you can take a brownie,
That's
split the
great.
mix up,
Yep.
and make a one with nuts, one without. Over here, we did all our different vegetables. So,
wow.
you know, you don't want, people are stickler. Like, I don't like, somebody doesn't like Brussels sprouts.
Right.
Well, I roast my Brussels sprouts here. I put my tomatoes here, my cauliflower. None of the flavors commingle, and they also cook at different times. So what I can do is I can put my tomatoes in the oven last, just
Yep.
put them on the tray, so they need the least amount of time to cook.
That's
so it's
amazing.
Just
This
a
is
smart
so,
way to
so
stagger
great.
your.
Now, if I wanted to use a countertop oven, could I put these individually into a countertop oven?
You can put these into a countertop oven. They're heat safe to 450 degrees, right?
Okay.
So you just want to make sure they're not directly on any heating element.
Got it.
Okay.
So
they have
on a rack of
On a
some
rack,
kind.
exactly. Yeah. So they don't,
Okay.
because they can't touch the actual heating element.
Great.
But other than that, they're heat safe, so they can go. They could actually go into the oven
great.
on the rack and bake something.
So
in
it
it if you-
becomes like your own
Yeah.
little extra little baking sheet that you have. And because it's freezer safe, you could even make your own little ice cream cake in them.
You could do a nice. I like that, and I just like the fact. Listen, when we design these, let's make them nice and thick, and give you this little handle. This little handle, it seems like a small detail, but when you go to pick those up, now these will get hot, and the nice thing about silicones, once they come out of the oven, they lose their heat quickly. So,
Okay.
you know, but you still would need some gloves. But you can pick them up without putting your fingers in the food.
Yes.
That's one of the things. So many of the inserts, he said, are just flat, and then how do you get them off the? How do you get them off the pan? I got
Exactly.
to stick my finger into the mac and cheese. I don't want to do that.
This is amazing. So I want to take you through the color
Yeah.
choices that we have available. Remember, you get that large sheet pan, which is 17 by 12.
That's right.
And then you will get two 12 by 5 1/4 rectangular silicone inserts and two 6 by 6 inserts. This is your beautiful midnight blue option. Chef Rick is showing you the steel gray. And then we do have that beautiful crimson red
That's
as
right.
well. Chef Rick, ooh, look at that cheesy
I know that's
deliciousness.
a lot
pretty
of
amazing.
that's a cheesy. I almost spilled it.
Tell me, do you have your mom's favorite dish?
Favorite dish that she used to make was London broil. She made 3 or 4 things. My mom wasn't disrespectful, but her London broil. And by the way, I have to mention, she used to make me the crispy rice treats. I know it's old school, but that was my
Oh, I
favorite.
love
I can
those.
eat
You
the
could
whole.
make them in here. That would be
Exactly.
great.
By
And
the way,
they
they
wouldn't
wouldn't stick. You wouldn't.
Yep.
I could eat the whole tray of those.
I know.
Just don't tell anyone.
Me too. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to see you one more time
Yes, we have one more.
in just
Yep.
a little bit.
All right, thanks.
All right, he's going to bring us more from Technique. When it was